Welcome to another episode of V for Veganism. I'm here with vegan activist and pro scooter rider Michael Mankong. Thank you, Michael, so much for joining us.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, how did you even get into veganism in the first place?
I think I originally found it through a vegan YouTuber. I was looking up how like home remedies for acne. It was so bad when I was in high school, and I knew it was like had to do with like dairy, but I did at that time I didn't know how to get rid of dairy and the substitutes. And I came across a vegan YouTuber, and they had like links in their bios to like Gary Rossi's speech.
Okay.
A lot of documentaries, like I think at the time Cowspiracy and Earthings were like the popular ones. So that all happened at age 19 in 2015. So I went vegetarian, like started questioning my food, and then I really wanted to go vegan, but I just didn't know if I had the budget for it, and even know how to like do my own groceries, because I never really cooked before like going vegetarian. After doing more research, by 2016, October 1st, overnight from being a vegetarian, I went vegan.
So you have your vegan anniversary.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. I don't, but I think that's fun that you can like you can be like October 1st and like you can like celebrate every year.
Oh, yeah.
So you said that you're Chinese and you're Indian, and your dad is Chinese and your mom is Indian.
Yeah.
To me, those are sort of cultures that are rooted in plant-based, as much as things are changing because Western culture is kind of taking over, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, they have always been rooted in sort of vegetarianism, or at least like mostly plant-based. So, you know, when you decided to go vegan, like were your parents, they were cool, or were they like, what are you doing?
They were like, who did this to you? But they were really supportive. After a while, they knew I was taking this seriously.
Okay.
So my mom would cook for me. Like she would easily make like vegetarian dishes vegan, just like not use chicken broth or something like eggs.
Yeah.
They'd make like curry potatoes or curry chickpeas and with roti, or and for Chinese food, I always loved like rice with the sauce and broccoli, and I would just have that, but now with like tofu or something.
Yeah. And are your parents, were they born here or?
No, my dad and my mom are both born in Trinidad, but they met in New York.
Oh, that's interesting. They were both born in Trinidad, but didn't meet till
and
they came here.
my dad's not Trini or like Indian, but he was born there.
Okay, interesting. And they ate meat growing up?
Yeah. They're still non-vegans. I bring home food for them sometimes, for them just to try, and they're like, it's pretty good, I don't taste the difference.
So it's not, like, veganism is not totally off the wall for them, as opposed to, like, some families.
And my aunt's really supportive, she's into health. She's also a non-vegan, but if there's a vegan place, she'll instantly text and message me and say, gotta try this.
Nice.
And she tries vegan food for herself.
So you're also an activist, though. So, you know, as you're discovering veganism, how did you discover activism, or even like decide that you wanted to do even more?
While like watching documentaries and speeches on YouTube, on the side, street activism videos came up, like Earthling Ed.
Okay.
And I just watched those, and they were like really entertaining and interesting. And I saw James Aspey was coming to New York. I really wanted to meet him, so I went there. He held a demonstration, Anonymous for the Voiceless Cube, in Times Square.
Yeah.
And I've seen those on YouTube, and I was like, okay, this is about to happen. I've only seen it on YouTube. So I held a truth sign, wore a mask, because I was not ready yet to talk to to strangers about veganism. So I got to hear James speak, and I met a lot of New York activists and got their Facebooks. And after that, I just saw a bunch of events starting to pop up on my Facebook feed. And I was like, I have time for this. It's the least I can do for the animals.
Yeah. So is that how you found out about, like, because I feel like I met you at Philly's the music video. Is that how you just found out about the music video shoot through Facebook?
Through Facebook, and also I met Philly at vigils and vegan events, and he would talk about it.
All right.
And he actually like asked me. He was like, because I always bring my scooter everywhere with me, and he was like, "Hey, you should be in my music video. Do some scooter tricks." I was like, "All right, I'll be there."
Awesome. So how did you get into scooter riding? Because you know, skating is one thing, but like the scooter is kind of like a little bit different.
I always loved skateboarding, and I did it for a little while. And all my friends, we had like skateboards, scooters, and bikes. We did all three. We would try tricks on all of them. But the scooter just stuck. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And it was just a hobby at first. I started like at age 12, and that's like when I tried my first trick, and I just kept doing it. Like, it was almost like an addiction. Like, while at school, I would think about like going scootering, or where would we go over the weekend.
You're like daydreaming in math class, like, scooter.
I'd love to go there and go scooter. And we didn't have cars at the time, so we'd like take the train to skate parks. We'll figure that out. And it started getting serious like by the end of high school.
Okay.
I met a lot of people through scootering. I even started like traveling a bit on the East Coast, and I met people that were on teams, and we'd go out and film together. And I was like, maybe I can try out for the team. So I worked on a video for TSI Scooters.
Okay.
They're based in Oregon, and I knew the team manager at the time. So I made a video, sent it in, and I got the approval.
Nice.
And I've been on TSI ever since 2014.
Cool. So what does it mean to like be a professional scooter rider? Like, what does that entail?
It's like still a new term to be professional. So when you're pro, you have sponsors. They'll pay for your trips. They'll send you free parts and like get you more exposure. So TSI helps me. I have another sponsor called Speak Apparel. They're based in Massachusetts, and they're really good friends. They send me clothes and stickers, and we make posters.
So you actually like kind of marry your scooter riding with vegan activism as well, because you know it's all over. It's on your scooter. I assume you talk to your other scooter riders about it.
Yeah.
How does that go over in the scooter riding world?
At first, when I first went vegan, you get all like jumpy. You just want to talk about it, and like you have this truth, like you just want to tell people, because some people don't know. So I would like post up on Instagram. I have it all over my scooter. Usually, my group of friends, they aren't the healthiest, so it was hard to talk to them. So after a while, I was just like, let me give it a rest. If they really care, they'll talk to me. And lately, since we're all getting like mature, most of my friends are 21. We want to start eating healthier, so they always come to me for advice.
Okay.
And they say, what's the nearest vegan joint, food joint?
That's awesome.
Near like skate parks or skate spots.
And you also you have a huge social media following. Like your Instagram is like, I remember the first time I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, this kid has like a humongous following. I assume that like there are people that follow you on Instagram that also like see the stuff you post about veganism. Do they like ask you about it?
For like every 10 people that hate on the veganism posts, there's at least one person who will message me and say, hey, I'm interested. Can you help me out? And I'll send them links.
That's awesome.
And I won't scare them away with too much information.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think even the people like that would like say something negative on your post, I always think you're planting a seed, whether they say something positive or negative, and eventually I think those people will come around. I mean, there are plenty of people that are vegan and activists now that hated on it 5 years ago. So I think just the fact that like you have this huge following, you have this huge platform, and you're putting it out there, even if it's just like one post every once in a while, like people are paying attention to the things that you're posting. So it's, your social media platform is a huge place to influence a lot of people, whether they right now are like you know, hating on it or not. Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, it's to be vegan and sort of like, it's a huge mentality flip. You know, you have to rethink what food is. You have to rethink, you know, how we see non-humans, and you know, when people call it a religion, it's absolutely not a religion, but it is certainly a spiritual change, and some people aren't really ready. You know, they're not really ready for that to like change the whole way that they look at the world, because it's really, you know, you have to be prepared to like see the world in a very, very different way.
Definitely changed my perspective of like life in the world. I understand a lot of things better now.
So in the skate and scooter worlds, I assume there are like other vegans. Are there like famous skaters and scooter riders that are vegan that kind of like promote it as well?
The Converse skate team has about 3 or 4 vegan skaters, and one of them, whose name is Kenny Anderson, he was a speaker at Circle V Fest in LA last year, and he has a signature Converse shoe that's made out of canvas, so no animal skin.
Awesome. And
him and another guy on the Converse team, Aaron Harrington, they always post vegan food on their story, so I'm like, yes. And Aaron's from New York, so I always see, he always posts the location of where he is, where he's eating, and I'm always like, I gotta go there. And it's usually like near a skate park or something, so it's convenient.
So Converse are not like, they're not normally vegan. What do you know? What about Converse makes them not vegan? Because I know a lot of vegans that I have a ton of Converse, and I know a lot of vegans that wear Converse.
Like skate shoes are mostly like suede because it won't rip as easily, and there's also leather in demand, but they're changing. There's at least like 10 plant-based scooter riders. I wouldn't call them vegan because I think they're just with the diet right now. So they're spreading the message through their diet. Yeah, veganism opened up a lot of doors for me. Like I try to be zero waste. I definitely buy cruelty-free grooming products, and I try to like be minimal as possible, like minimalism.
I mean, there's so much that even like when you first get into veganism, there's still so much to learn, like about, you know, I recently saw about like the fibers in our clothing getting into the ocean, winding up in fish, and obviously like we don't eat fish, but it still affects us. It affects the oceans. So yeah, being as minimalist as possible is sort of continuing along that vegan journey, because there still is. There's always something to learn. There's always something better that you can do. I mean, down to like, you know, yeah, I went vegan, and I went vegan for the animals, but I was still drinking out of straws. And now, you know, we have glass and aluminum straws at home. And if those are not available, I just drink from the cup, you know, and like really, really trying to reduce my plastic intake. And something we learned from one of our other interviewees, Joshua Catcher, about, you know, not buying so much clothing. Like we don't need all these clothes, and if you are gonna buy clothes, going to like a second-hand store, going to like Buffalo Exchange, something like that, so that, you know, you're not contributing to this waste problem. My
friends love thrift stores, so it's like basically second-hand clothing. And if I need clothes, I'll find like an ethical clothing site, maybe that has like organic cotton, when I have like the funds for that stuff, kind of thing.
Michael, thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna watch you do some tricks, but thank you so much for taking your time, and thank you so much for spreading veganism, and especially in the way that you do with the influence that you have. We appreciate it. And I'm sure the animals appreciate it as well. Where can people find you? How can they follow you?
On Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, just my name. And if they don't use social media, you can find me on the streets. Doing activism and scootering.
So if you're not on social media, which I'm sure you are, you can find Michael at any local skate park in New York or around the country, or at any activist protest. Also, make sure to subscribe below, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.